Our credibility is everything as leaders. It's the foundation of everything that we do. Our words got to be good or we've got real problems. And I believe our credibility has to be good even in the smallest ways. Here's an example. A lot of times people will make the statement, my door is always open. Leaders will make that statement, my door is always open. And my question, and you may call this picky, you may call it silly, you may call it being overly persnickety on my part, but credibility and accuracy is really important in the little things and in the big things. And so a lot of times leaders will say this statement, they'll say, my door is always open. And my question is, how can that possibly be true? Your door can't possibly always be open for me. It simply can't be. If I'm a manager and the CEO's in my office talking to me, I'm sorry, it's not open for you to walk in. If I'm dealing with a real difficult situation with an employee, it's not open for you to walk in. If I'm sitting there with a multi-million-dollar client, it's not open for you to walk in. So if I make the promise my door's always open and you keep running into my closed door, then you begin to question my credibility. The backlash comes, you become bitter because I'm not available to you as much as I said I would be. Why not say things that are really accurate? Why couldn't I look at my team and say, look, folks, I'm going to be available to you as much as I can be, and anything I can do for you, I will. That's something I can back up. And then I show it by my actions, by getting out of my bunker, getting out of my office, and walking the floor, walking the office, whatever it is that I'm walking, and get out amidst my employees. Can I do that every day, all day? Of course not. But I do it often enough to let my people know that I meant it, that I was going to make myself available to them. Really important for us to do. I was helping a woman move some years ago, and her husband ran a manufacturing plant. And he had 5 of his warehouse workers helping us out. This was on a Saturday morning, and we were moving, working obviously very hard, as I would, of course. And then at 11:30 in the morning, we'd worked for 3 or 4 hours, and the husband very conveniently went off to get lunch, which I suppose is okay since he was buying. So he goes off to get lunch, and we have on the truck probably what's left. We could probably get that off by the time he got back in the half hour or so that he's going to be gone. But we had worked very hard, and we decided we wanted to rest, and so we sat down in various places on the trunk and different things, and the woman then came out and saw us sitting down and relaxing, and apparently wanted to motivate us to continue to work. And so she came up to us and said in a very nice way, but nonetheless said, hey, let's see if we can get this stuff off before my husband gets back. It'll only take a minute. And please focus for a moment on the phrase, it will only take a minute. One of the warehouse workers, 55 years old, leaned up against the truck. As soon as she walked away, the first words out of his mouth was, she must be management. In other words, he's 55 years old. He's worked for management for some 35 years. And his idea of management is that they say things they can't possibly mean. First of all, if I say it'll only take a minute, it demeans the effort it takes for someone to get the job done. Because it's not going to just take a minute. Second, it's simply not true, and it injures my credibility. How many times have you had people dump things on your lap and say, oh, this should take you just a few minutes? And then you look at it, and you say, how many sets of few minutes are you talking about? Are you kidding me? So it's inaccurate. One of the reasons, and the largest reason we use little phrases like that is because we want people to like us now. If I say it'll only take a minute, or it'll just take a few seconds or a few minutes, it makes me feel better that maybe you'll feel better about taking on the task. We are really good, or we want to be really good at avoiding conflict. So we make it sound easier than what it really is. But those little exaggerations come back to haunt us when, like the warehouse worker, he looks at our credibility as really negative, because that's just the type of things management says. They say things that can't be true, and they demean the effort it takes for us to get it done. And then later, the backlash comes when it doesn't take that amount of time. So credibility is something that we really need to be as leaders, as accurate as possible. And trust me on this one if you can. If people don't believe us in the little things, they won't believe us in the big. You want people to believe you when the chips are down, when all hell is breaking loose. You want people to believe your words. Well, trust me, if they don't believe in the little things, they're not going to trust. They're not going to believe in the big. And so we have to guard our credibility with little and big. Be really picky about it. Be as accurate as possible, because our credibility is the bedrock of our ability to lead.